We as a community learned a lot about ourselves during these past 2 years of pandemic. Our fragility, the need for each other, our capacity to endure loneliness, the ability to keep at the things we needed to do as a city. We still came together, but largely in virtual formats. We did what was required to function, yet it would be true to say that we have lost some sense of ourselves in the process. We were made to be together, to build in face-to-face interactions, but working remotely has left us, remote, and that's not a good thing. We are creators, and we are at our best when we develop new ways of cooking, celebrating, collaborating, making decisions, planning, and acting as stewards of our community and its environment. With COVID-19 somewhat receding, we have the opportunity to reconnect, to come back together in ways we have missed but haven't forgotten. One of our early opportunities to collectively come together will be around the London Food Bank's annual Spring Food Drive. It was exactly 2 years ago that the first virtual food drive had to be implemented since the pandemic had struck just 2 weeks previous. Despite all these changes swirling around in those early moments of COVID, Londoners, individuals, families, businesses, faith groups, associations donated online to such a degree that the 2020 Spring Food Drive doubled what it had received in the 2019 version. Every food drive that took place during the pandemic exceeded all that had come before. It was a remarkable testament to this community's compassion. But this year's food drive finally gives us the chance to come together once more, not just online, but in person. People can donate and volunteer together for the London Food Bank, just as they've been doing for the past 35 years. In coming together to support hungry families, we finally get the opportunity to see one another again, in person and in real time. We'll get the chance to discover once more what we have in common, and to again respect those things that make us unique. We get the opportunity again to cultivate that sense of belonging and purpose that we have craved for the past 24 months. Our connection to community is now possible, as will be our collective link to those facing hunger among us. Put simply, this will be one of our first opportunities to rebuild our community at the human level. We can see and touch one another again, celebrate, and even grieve some of the losses we experienced in our pandemic journey. Perhaps our greatest potential will be in how we can now reimagine our community in light of that journey. We can be more accessible and integrated than ever before. 2 years of being apart does that to people, and now it is our turn to turn this pandemic into a new sense of purpose. We need to remember what happened after the great 1918 pandemic, when communities reconnected with such strength that great social and business upheavals emerged that set the tone for the future. Communities were to change forever, and now, so must we. It is time to rebuild, to rethink, and to return to one another. We can leverage what we learned during our time apart to usher in a new era where poverty and hunger are dealt with far more effectively, and where those who were once on the margins are now living at the core of our collective life together. We can transform this city and ourselves in the process. Let's get off to a good start by donating to the Spring Food Drive and all the other agencies that will be benefited through it. Let's regather once more, not just like we once did, but with a new sense of purpose and shared prosperity. We're London. We can do it. Please support the 2022 Spring Food Drive.